along on a captivating journey into the heartwarming world of animal tales. From a life-saving dog in the woodlands to a feline criminal in Katy, babies born at the Houston Zoo, and the resilient animals finding a second chance at life. They touch our lives, bring joy, and unveil some surprises. I'm Brady Smith, and in this KHOU 11 Rewind, we're showcasing the incredible bond between animals and humans in the Houston community. Let's begin in the woodlands, where a family is extra thankful for their furry friend. Stephanie Whitfield explained how Axel the dog saved his human's life.
All right, can you do a hug?
This border collie's name is Axel.
Hug.
Amanda Tanner says the one-year-old rescue was meant to be part of her family. A couple months ago,
So he jumped on my bed, was kind of like aggressively trying to wake us up.
It was around 5:45 in the morning. She thought he needed to go outside.
My husband walked all the way to the sliding door, but Axel did not follow him and just stopped in front of Gabriel's door.
Gabriel is her 17-year-old son. We now know he was in his room panicking. He had fallen. His vision was fuzzy and he couldn't feel his right arm.
And then I just found my dad, and that's when I knew something was really wrong, because I tried to talk to him and I started slurring my words.
His doctor at Memorial Hermann says the teenager was suffering a large left-sided stroke.
He could not speak, he could not understand language, and he was nearly paralyzed on the right side of his body.
Over the last couple months, the senior at Klein Oak High School has made great strides in speech and physical therapy. One reason is he got medical help quickly that morning. That's thanks to Axel, who's earned as many treats as he wants.
To me, it's godsend. Axel is one of 9 puppies that was found. He's the one that no one wanted. He's the reject. You know, he was meant to be a part of our family. He had a purpose, and he's going to continue to have a purpose.
Stephanie Whitfield, KHOU 11 News.
Doctors say it's important to know the signs of a stroke so you can get help fast. They include trouble with balance, vision, and speech, also weakness in the face or arms. We have more details up now on KHOU.com. Just look for this article. A recent graduation for the Houston Police Department looked a little different. Well, different than your typical cadet ceremony. Sherman Chow took us there.
HPD having its mounted patrol graduation today. Behind me, 3 new officers for the Houston Police Department, 2 from the Conroe Police Department, all of them completing a 9-week course.
Class 38! Move!
Fellow officers, family, and friends, some from Conroe and beyond, were there.
Hey!
During protests, when it really gets tense, they're trained to step in and move crowds and do things where people don't get hurt.
2 Conroe officers were also pinned. Houston rodeo compadres and family showed up for Jeff Corliss.
I get choked up. I do.
Corliss, who managed a ranch before becoming an officer, adds,
What we do is not easy, and having the support of family is important.
Also in the crowd, proud dad Willie Brooks, along with his daughter-in-law and grandson.
When Jamel was less than 2 years old, I bought him a quarter horse.
That is right.
What was your 4th horse's name?
I named him Coco.
Even for experienced riders, HPD's course goes beyond fundamental maneuvers.
And then we have to do all of that bareback with no saddle. We even jumped a barrel. Yeah, they say most people, they don't start jumping until year 3. We did it week 3.
They are an elite group, and I'm proud to see him as being a part of it.
As it seems is Officer Brooks's own son. HPD now has 31 mounted patrol officers. Police agencies also have adopt-a-horse programs starting at $5,000 to help with the upkeep of the animals.
The last 2 stories were about animals helping humans. This next one is about a critter who might think he's helping. Anna Yeli Ruiz solved this cat burglar case out of Katy.
Socks and yard gloves.
Basket after basket.
He did bring a few t-shirts
of loot.
A bikini. He brought it in 2 separate days.
has ended up on the kitchen floor of Gene Wheat's home.
He often brings clean, folded laundry.
For weeks now, the items have shown up dragged from all over.
I want to apologize because some of the items he's brought home, in particular a pair of really nice women's shapewear, are kind of pricey.
The prime suspect in this Katie caper? Cleo the cat burglar. It started innocently enough inside Gene's home, but then...
This summer we were traveling and he got pretty crazy about stealing.
Cleo started visiting the neighbors.
A couple of neighbors have told me that he's climbed into their house through their window.
No garage or open car window is safe. And yes, he's been caught in the act.
Cleo, what do you have there? No, you can't have those.
He's gained quite the reputation, and his list of victims keeps growing.
We didn't notice they were missing. She would tell us he would bring stuff home.
And because he's a cat, he has a thing for mice. Just not the kind you're thinking of.
He took a computer mouse, still in the bag.
Cleo's owner, embarrassed, started washing the stolen goods and putting them outside with a sign for her neighbors.
I apologize on his behalf. Please look through his loot and recover your stuff.
Cleo's caper, now a social media sensation.
The most viral subject on our neighborhood Facebook page.
Cleo the cat has become so popular in this neighborhood, they even made shirts for him. And part of the profits go to a local shelter.
They just think it's great, funny.
And for a motive? Well, vets say Cleo might have a condition. And no, it's not kleptomania.
I have seen it before in cats who develop like we call it a substrate affinity. It means that they have an affinity for certain types of material.
Jean says she's tried to get Cleo to quit his life of crime.
I chastised him a little bit, kind of thinking maybe we could break the habit. But then I realized it was a losing battle. He's basically a teenager.
And when we confronted Cleo, no remorse and no comment. Anayeli Ruiz, KHOU 11 News.
Now let's talk about how we can help animals, starting with orphaned baby squirrels, which you'll spot all over the Houston area in the fall. Stephanie Simmons found out what you can do.
Whiskey and frisky. Squirrels belong in trees, but sometimes life takes a turn.
This is the big fall boom of baby squirrels. And when they get orphaned, people bring them into us, we raise them up, and then we release them.
The Houston SPCA's Wildlife Center of Texas is currently caring for a record number of baby squirrels, with more than 200.
An average length of stay is 6 to 8 weeks.
Wildlife manager Brooke Yaney says if you see one who may need help, handle the cuddly creature with care.
The first thing we recommend is to check and see if the baby looks like he's injured. If there's any open wounds or if there's flies swarming around, something like that, that baby needs to be brought in immediately. If there doesn't look like there's anything wrong, you can actually try to reunite the squirrel with its mom. Squirrel moms are usually pretty good about taking care of their babies. So what we would recommend in that case is to put like a box with some rags or something in it and leave it out for a couple of hours near where you found the squirrel to see if the mom comes back and claims that baby.
If mom doesn't come back, take the squirrel to the Houston SPCA. Without a permit, it's illegal to rehab a wild animal at home, but you can still be a part of their recovery process.
We can do this for 6-7 hours a day sometimes, so we definitely need people to come in and help.
The Wildlife Center is in desperate need of volunteers to help feed the overflow of baby squirrels.
I picked him out because he's so cute.
Most of the tiny babies need to be fed 3 times a day.
He's got a little milk mustache.
Carefully, with a special formula through a syringe.
It'll be easier if you hold his head.
I even gave it a try. They are squirmy, but once you get the hang of it, it's truly a relaxing and a rewarding way to volunteer.
A little practice makes perfect, right?
After all, they're just a bunch of baby squirrels trading nuts for some warm, soothing milk.
And we're going to sleep.
Look for this article on KHOU.com if you'd like to sign up to be a volunteer for the Houston SPCA. When cold temperatures stunned more than 1,000 bats, they had to be rescued. One woman volunteered her attic for the job, and that prompted an expert to train a team of people to handle bat rescue and rehab. Sherman went to that class.
That hard freeze in December stunned Houston and over 1,000 bats. To the bat rescue, Mary Warwick, the wildlife director of the Houston Humane Society.
Because right now I've been the only person in Houston.
That's changing. The bat team is growing.
We cover the bat and we tell them, pretend that this is a pot holder, this is a baked potato in the oven.
Experts from the Bat World Sanctuary in North Texas are at the Houston Humane Society's Texas Wildlife Center, teaching staffers and volunteers how to rescue and rehab injured bats. That includes hand feeding the winged mammals live mealworms. Now, it's appetizing if you're a bat. We got up close and personal to watch.
Depending on how many sheets, it could take 10 or 15 minutes to feed one bat, and you can't rush them. She might eat a dozen mealworms, she might eat 20 or 30.
Patience is key, and why having more trained hands on deck will help maintain the Bayou City's bat population. Last month, Mary stored 1,600 bats in dog kennels in her attic. It was just cold enough there so that the bats didn't have to eat, but that just works for a few days.
They help our crops. They help provide medicines. A lot of the medicines we get are from them pollinating plants.
And of course, they love mosquitoes and other insects. Houston has plenty of bat fans. Huge crowds turned out when those cold-stunned bats were released. Well, now we've got our own trained bat rescue team. Sharon Minchow, KHOU 11 News.
This next story isn't so much a rescue as a recovery. A calf was stolen from a popular family farm in Brookshire. Grace White talked to the Good Samaritan who helped bring Sirloin home.
Hey, baby.
Back home on the farm, Sirloin is resting.
He's gonna relax a little bit.
After quite the week.
I was skittish at first, but right now he just lets me love on him. It took a day or two and to get him acclimated again.
Wendy Lank says the miniature Hereford bull calf went missing from Dewberry Farm 2 days after a baby goat named Jackson disappeared too. The Waller County Sheriff's Office confirms to KHOU 11 News they took 2 women into custody, but has not said what charges they're facing. The baby goat was found first, but Sirloin was still out there.
We press charges against him because they need to be held accountable.
Sirloin's owner still thinks he was dumped on the side of the road, but now we know somehow he made it to another property 7 miles away and found some new friends. We met Justin Freeman, fresh off his tractor.
He showed up, ma'am. I didn't actually find him, he found us.
He's the Good Samaritan who noticed Sirloin on his property.
Well, he had the wrong shape in the head to be a calf.
He called the sheriff's office, then eventually one of his neighbors, who just happens to be a cowboy, to help rope him in.
I'm just happy he's back safe, ma'am, that's all.
I'm so excited. We're all so elated. It's a blessing.
And now Sirloin is back in his barn with new neighbors. Since our last visit, a mother goat gave birth to twins. More animals they have to worry about for more than just feeding.
Unfortunately, we are having to lock up the barn, which we didn't have to do before.
But after Sirloin and Jackson went missing, they're not taking any chances.
If that means it's going to keep our animals safe and secure, so if we can provide this to all the families and kids that come to the farm in the future, then that's exactly what we'll do.
To keep all the barn animals safe.
He's a good boy.
In Brookshire, Grace White, KHOU 11 News.
Who says it's just cats that have 9 lives? This handsome pup suffered a horrible injury that almost cost him his life. Zach Tawatari documented the dog's road to recovery.
Handsome.
Especially in dog years.
He's a good boy.
Life can flash before your eyes.
He's pretty chill.
And 1-year-old Nako.
It actually means bear. I mean, he's a survivor.
Could have taken his last steps.
The amputation and then this wrist, so to say, right here is also fractured.
On the side of the road.
No doubt. Either hit by a car or thrown out of a car. One of the two.
Laura Hunter,
animal rescuer all over Houston,
has been taking in animals her entire life.
Snakes to iguanas to steers. I've picked up anything I can, that needs help. That's the nature of me.
Last week, she was looking for a stray puppy near a Missouri City work site.
One of the workers told me that there was actually an adult dog that had been hit by a car the day prior that was in the ditch further down the road.
It was right here next to the Fort Bend Parkway toll road with speeding cars and an active construction zone that Nako was waiting for someone who could help.
But I just heard a car brake and you just heard a little impact, and that's when he just limped across the street. And
that person turned out to be Jaime Cortez, working at that site along the tollway.
I didn't think he was gonna make it. Before I knew it, somebody was here.
That's when Laura found Nako.
He had basically 2 broken legs, so he was unable to walk.
After raising thousands of dollars for surgery, Nako is learning how to walk again.
It's harder for him to lose a front leg because it's like a car that loses a front wheel.
As Laura searches for a home,
he's gonna have to be treated well.
And proves that sometimes our greatest acts of humanity,
they truly appreciate it,
aren't human.
I'll stay here with you.
At all.
They don't have a voice, you speak for them.
In Pearland, Zach Tawatari, KHOU 11 News.
That story first aired in August, so I gave Laura a call to see if Nako found a forever home. And he did, with her. She says by the time he was fully recovered, he thought she was his mom, so she just made it official. But if anyone is looking to adopt, she and her friends are almost always fostering rescues, and they can probably connect you with a pet that needs a home. Laura's contact info is in this article on KHOU.com. There are so many animals sitting in local shelters just waiting for a forever home. That wait can be incredibly stressful. Dave Freilich introduced us to a local boy using his talents to put pets at ease.
Music has always been a big part of Yuvi Agarwal's life. The soon-to-be 5th grader at the village school started playing the piano at the age of 4. At some point, Yuvi noticed he wasn't the only music lover in his home.
When I play the piano, or when I just play music on a speaker or something, my dog just always just relaxes, lies down, and just listens to the music.
Yuvi had participated in programs in which volunteers read to shelter pets, so he put 2 and 2 together, and a proposal to play music for the animals, a program he calls Wild Tunes, was born. At first, it was tough to find a shelter willing to let Yuvi come into play, but finally a family friend found a local shelter that was interested.
Houston Pets Alive really loved the idea, and they welcomed me to play every week for the animals.
So that's what Yuvi's done for the last 3 months. Once a week, he goes into the shelter and plays for the dogs for about 30 to 45 minutes, relaxing them in the hour before their walk, which can be the most hectic time of the day. Now that they've seen the calming effect the music can have, Yuvi and his mom hope many other animals can benefit from the concept.
Eventually, the idea is to grow Wild Tunes, take it nationwide.
A move that would no doubt be music to perky and floppy ears everywhere.
In November, Wild Tunes held its first fundraiser concert, raising almost $10,000 for Houston Pets Alive. If you love animals, no doubt you've been to the Houston Zoo before, but if it's been a while, time to plan another visit, because this spring, the zoo unveiled its new Galapagos Islands exhibit. Brittany Ford checked it out.
Iguanas, tortoises, penguins, and sea lions. Oh my.
And you get to see that. You get to be submerged in their environment.
The Houston Zoo's Galapagos Islands exhibit will take you into the archipelago. The $70 million project, 6 years in the making, now in completion.
On behalf of the government of Ecuador,
putting Houston on the map with the Consul General of Ecuador's seal of approval.
When you go through this exhibit, you literally can say that you've experienced some of the beauty that exists within Ecuador.
The landscaping critters and underwater views will do just that.
Enriching our very curious sea lions. They are getting a big kick of all of you guys as you make it through the tunnel.
A unique way to experience what life is like in the playful waters of the Pacific and how you can help preserve it.
And I think it's going to help everybody fall in love with all the animals here and therefore want to protect the ocean.
Brittany Ford, KHOU 11 News.
Ever wonder what it takes to move animals into a new space? Well, about 70 zoo employees formed a human barricade to guide flamingos to a temporary exhibit. They'll live there for about 2 years while their original home is updated as part of a new Birds of the World complex. So that's something else to watch out for at the zoo. The zoo's actually had a bunch of new additions this year, including the birth of a rare species of primates. This northern white-cheeked gibbon is the proud product of parents Ting and Max. They're native to various parts of Asia and have seen a massive decline in population for the past 45 years. Also rare, this wattled curacao chick hatched in June. The species is endangered. We're told you can identify the birds by listening closely because they make a unique whistling sound. The meerkat mob got twice as cute in March when these two arrived. They made their public debut in April. These capybara pups, born in October, are named after potatoes. We've got Russet, Tater Tot, Spud, and Chip Ali. This is the second litter from mom and dad, and the whole family is on display in the South American exhibit. On the topic of unique names, meet Dill, Gherkin, and Jalapeno, the offspring of 90-year-old Mr. Pickles, a tortoise and the oldest animal at the Houston Zoo. Mr. Pickles has called the zoo home for 36 years, but he and the missus only got together in 1996. A couple more babies to mention. An eastern bongo mama gave birth to baby boy Marvin, and Cadbury's an antelope. Both of these guys were born this spring. Arguably the most high-profile additions to the Houston Zoo this year were cougar cubs Shasta the 7th and brother Louie. They are U of H's newest ambassadors, and they made their official debut in February. Michelle Choi got to meet them.
Yeah, it was really cool to meet these two adorable cougar cubs in person. They're absolutely beautiful, full of personality, and perfectly fit to rep U of H. And even better, Houstonians can now meet them too. After spending the last few months getting bigger and stronger behind the scenes, the now 5-month-old cougar cub siblings, Shasta the 7th and Louie, moved into their new home this morning. The siblings were found abandoned in Washington state before relocating to their forever home here at the Houston Zoo. Since then, they've been growing quickly.
It's been definitely a journey with these two. When they came in, they were very, very small, a little bit underweight. So our vet clinic actually did an amazing job nursing them back up.
And developing big personalities.
Louie, he's one that is all about his snacks. Shasta, he's a little bit braver one.
The zoo's newest residents are also carrying on the long-standing tradition of serving as ambassadors for the University of Houston.
They definitely represent the cougar spirit, and we are delighted to have them in our family.
Shasta the 7th is also the school's new live mascot. Here's the moment he met the other Shasta today. The Cubs' role's even more meaningful to U of H Cougs like Parker Hearn and his fellow bandmates, who all got up early this morning to meet them, as the U of H men's basketball team gets ready for March Madness, with Houston hosting the Final Four this year.
March Madness coming up, we all have high hopes. We're looking for an amazing season to come through, and I'm a believer. I think they go all the way.
I'm told Shasta and Louie's newest home is actually temporary. Once they get bigger, they'll be moved to their permanent home over at the large cougar habitat in the coming months.
The zoo is an obvious choice to see animals from all over the world, but if you want to learn more about the critters that call the Houston area home, check out the Baytown Wetlands Center.
We do a little bit of everything here.
The Baytown Wetlands Center might sound like an outdoor adventure, but this is a journey visitors take inside.
They can come in and go into the science lab. They're welcome to go in, use our microscopes, explore in there. There's a lot of things for them to play with in there.
He's spiky.
But the real draw is the exhibit hall.
This is their chance to see something, maybe touch something they've never seen, and get excited and go out and do something good for the environment and their world.
Admission is free, and there is no shortage of things to check out. We're talking about walls and walls and walls of critters and information.
We have snakes, lizards, alligators, fish, crabs, shrimp. We have all kinds of things for people to see if they come in and visit.
Gator World is home to baby gators, turtles, and fish that you'll find in wetlands around Baytown.
We have a lot of natural history that surrounds us.
Like bees to honey, visitors are drawn to the center's beehive, where you can watch workers hauling pollen in from outside, keep an eye out for the queen, that's her right there, and get a sense of how the colony works.
We would love for them to come in and get excited about wildlife, conservation. People take care of what they care about.
Whether that's native birds or nocturnal animals, tracks or pelts, slimy or slithery.
It is very fulfilling to come to work every day. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what something new is going to happen, what child is going to walk in and, have an aha moment, and we all love those here.
Those moments can happen Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. or Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
It's the best part of my job.
Or you can take a walk on the wild side in Meadows Place. You don't even have to live there to visit. If you love critters, this is the spot for you.
We're in the Meadows Place Discovery and Nature Center.
It opened up in 2018 and was just starting to build momentum when the pandemic shut it down.
But now it's becoming more popular.
For kids and their parents.
They can come and experience nature firsthand, many interactive activities. We have an exploration zone in the backyard, a big tree house, and 11 different species of animals that they can actually hold and learn about. We have corn snakes, water snakes, rabbits, guinea pigs, tarantulas, box turtles, giant tortoises, goats.
You can get really up close and personal with the critters like Dan here, and let's not forget Thor.
He's the most precious little goat with a goatee, little blue eyes, very personable. The kids can go in the actual cage with them, brush them, interact. They love a good rub down their back.
The pen next door is home to giant tortoises Lilo and Stitch.
They also love to be brushed or bathed.
The center's backyard also includes a giant tree house and blacksmith shop to explore.
Inside we have a lot of imaginative play type things, floor puzzles, mix and match, scavenger hunts.
I mean, you guys truly have it all.
We do. We have a lot to do. And it's very cost effective. It's $5 for adults and $2 for children.
It's an affordable way for city kids to walk on the wild side.
Pack a lunch, bring the kids, and plan to spend a couple hours here with us.
Just a quick plug now for our Hidden Gems series. If you go to khou.com/hidden gems, you can find all kinds of places to visit to get in touch with nature. We also have an interactive map organized by category, including museums, restaurants, and small businesses. But let's be real, around the Houston area, you don't have to go look for critters. A lot of them will make themselves known, sometimes aggressively. I'm talking about alligators. Maria Aguilera tagged along with a gator wrangler during his busy season.
There he got him right around the face.
A Clear Lake woman had to call for help after she found a surprise on her front porch when opening the door in the morning.
They wake up and come out their door and there's alligators standing there.
Tim DeRamis with Bayou City Gator Savers captured this 8.5-foot female gator. And he says that was just one of 5 calls the same day.
The deal is you're gonna see an alligator at this time of year.
DeRamis says alligator season is here from about March to the end of May.
You touch her and she's gonna hiss. She'll hiss loud.
You'll see them in neighborhoods that have lakes and community ponds. DeRamis says they're looking for bodies of water and mates. And during this time every year, he captures about 100 of them.
They get out at night and they're trying to find other bodies of water, but they get into these neighborhoods and they can't find their way out.
His message is keep your distance and call for help.
The main thing about these animals is they're not attack animals. They're not gonna just run out and attack you.
In the meantime, the alligators he captures will stay at his home just for the night, and then he'll take them to rescue parks where they'll be cared for.
I get to wake up and do what I love to do.
A maybe less expected animal you can spot around here, peacocks. Stephanie Simmons learned how they got here.
Seems pretty used to people and squirrels.
The extravagant blue peacock. With its illustrious bright feathers and fan-like display, these birds are quite the sight. Native to India, many people who are new to Houston would never expect to see them here. Turns out they've been staking their claim around town for decades.
Yeah, this climate, this area is actually really close to their natural area. So our temperatures is close to what they would get in the wild.
Their exact origin isn't clear, but rumor has it a family owned some peacocks in Houston, and when they left, the birds stayed. Depending on who you ask, the animals have been around for 30 to 50 years. And a lot of residents, if you see them, they love them because they're beautiful, so they're not necessarily pests or nuisance or anything, right? Yeah. We're here at Friendship Garden in the Heights, where we're told this is a popular roosting spot for peacocks. There aren't any here right now, but you need to know what to do if you ever do see one in person.
If it's healthy and happy, the best thing to do is just leave it there. Honestly, a lot of times when people are trying to relocate these birds, they can do more harm than good that way.
In fact, the Houston SPCA is currently caring for a peacock who was brought in after being found near Hobby Airport.
So this bird came in very, very emaciated, very thin, and we've been able to kind of get him back on track, and he is about to be adopted, actually.
You can spot peacocks all over the Houston area. Several residents in the Heights have even shared photos of their sightings on the Nextdoor app.
There's people who really want them around. They think it's like a cultural or a neighborhood boon to have these things. They're like, oh, I'm going to live in the peacock neighborhood. So they definitely thrive here in this urban environment.
After decades of enjoying the southern weather, these beautiful birds are now a part of Houston history, and it appears they're here to stay.
I hope you now have a little more insight into our furry, feathered, and cold-blooded neighbors in the Houston area. Thanks for watching this KHOU 11 Rewind. I'm Brandy Smith.